Good evening, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Donald Trump is coming to Aurora. The former president's campaign website says he will hold a rally at the Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention Center on Friday afternoon. The campaign announcement refers to Aurora as a war zone. It's a false claim that Trump has repeatedly made about the city, saying it's being taken over by a Venezuelan gang. Trump originally teased a visit to Colorado during a rally last month.
I'm going to Springfield and I'm going to Aurora. You may never see me again, but that's okay. Got to do what I got to do.
Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman, a Republican, has told 9 News he will not attend Trump's rally, and he hopes the visit to Aurora will show the former president that his claims are inaccurate.
Today we learned the man who Aurora police shot and killed last week wasn't armed with a gun. Instead, he was holding a tactical air rifle.
9 News reporter Rhea Jha is in Aurora tonight, and Rhea, you spoke with a woman who says she knew that man.
Yeah, and she said that she was his girlfriend. She told us the man's name and also said that police should have known right away that that weapon was fake.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming to this.
Addressing the media with new details after Aurora police shot and killed a man last week, Chief Todd Chamberlain explains this wasn't the goal.
When you look at the actions of the suspect, the response by our officers were the least amount of force necessary to control an incredibly fluid, unfolding situation.
It happened Thursday afternoon in a parking lot off Oswego Street. Chamberlain explained multiple callers reported a fight between 2 men and that one of them had a gun.
It escalated to the point to where our suspect was trying to get the keys to our victim's car. It escalated even further, at which point our suspect took a rock and hit our victim in the head. And what they observed is pretty much what you see on this poster.
Officers told the suspect to drop his weapon, then fired multiple rounds, killing the man. They say he pointed a gun at them. They later found out it wasn't a real gun.
And luckily it was a tactical replica, but I would hate to see if he ever got his hands on a real gun.
He was 38-year-old Corey Dillard.
He's my long-term boyfriend.
Anna Harris knew him well.
But he was a soldier first, and it really affected his mental health.
Dillard was an Army veteran who served in Afghanistan as a combat engineer. She said he's had that air rifle for some time.
They showed a picture of Corey in his pajamas, barefoot, with a airsoft toy in his own parking lot.
But Chamberlain says that's not the call police responded to.
It's incredibly unfortunate that the officers were put in this situation by the aggressive and proactive nature and stance of the suspect, and his actions dictated the end result. Thank you very much.
The police chief said they don't believe there was any prior relationship or prior contact between the suspect and the victim. The 2 officers involved in that shooting are now under administrative leave as they investigate the situation. Reporting live in Aurora, Rhea Jha, 9 News.
It was another summer-like day across the metro area today. Temps at DIA got up to 82. Really nice. Although we're still dealing with some pockets of wildfire smoke coming from wildfires burning in Wyoming, Idaho, and Utah.
Yeah, and it's still so warm out there, Kathy.
So warm, Kathy.
It's unusual. I mean, it happens, but to have such an extended period of warm, dry weather where we're talking about elevated fire danger this late in the season, with the average first freeze and first snowfall typically right around the corner, very unusual. Temperatures in the 80s, cooling back to the 50s this hour. That smoke continues to stream in on west to northwest winds aloft. The worst of it over eastern Colorado late tonight, then lifting a bit into Nebraska and Kansas. So some improvement with a wind shift tomorrow, but an air quality alert will remain in effect for Denver, Greeley, Fort Collins, right up into Cheyenne overnight tonight through the day tomorrow. Winds much lighter at the surface out of the east and southeast. We have areas of smoke in the forecast tonight and tomorrow, elevated fire danger. There is a chance for some moisture coming in through the extended period, but for now, it's just high cloud cover moving into Colorado as all eyes are on dangerous Hurricane Milton in the Gulf of Mexico, a Category 5 storm that will make landfall somewhere between Tampa and Fort Myers on Wednesday, with the potential for catastrophic storm surge to 15 feet. This could be a historical hurricane in the Gulf. We'll have more on that in a bit. Enjoy the evening temperatures. We'll have the timing and impact of the next weather change coming up in just a bit.
And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
A dire message tonight from the mayor of Tampa, and many Floridians are heeding that warning, enduring bumper-to-bumper traffic as they evacuate ahead of Hurricane Milton. The storm intensified to a Category 5 hurricane today. It's expected to hit the Tampa Bay region Wednesday night. Forecasters are warning of a possible 15-foot storm surge in Tampa Bay. That's the highest ever predicted for the region, and nearly double the levels reached 2 weeks ago during Helene. John Morales, a longtime forecaster in South Florida with our sister station, NBC6 in Miami, got emotional talking about the potentially catastrophic storm.
Just an incredible, incredible, incredible hurricane. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
Much of the focus in Florida right now is on removing debris left over from Helene. Experts warn these pieces could become projectiles thrown around by the hurricane-force winds.
Dozens of Coloradans have spent the better part of 2 weeks helping in the aftermath of Helene. Now they're getting ready for Milton. 45 members of Colorado Task Force 1 were deployed on September 25th. They headed to Tampa to help with search and rescue operations. Then they were sent to an area just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Earlier tonight, they arrived at Camp Blanding near Jacksonville, Florida, where they're waiting to respond to whatever they may be needed for. After working long days and getting maybe 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, they're preparing to do it all over again.
We understand it takes a little bit of a toll. The other side of it is they've trained some of them for years for this opportunity to go out and make a difference and be in the thick of perhaps some of the worst storms that this country has seen for a long time.
Each member of the team undergoes daily checks to make sure they're not just physically okay, but mentally as well.
Today marks 1 year since the deadliest day for Israel since the Holocaust. Hamas killed more than 1,200 Israelis and took more than 100 people hostage, including 3 Americans. Israel has killed tens of thousands of Palestinians in the ensuing conflict.
Tonight is an opportunity for the Jewish community to come together and mourn. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch spoke with Jewish leaders across the city today. She joins us live from Denver tonight.
For some Jewish people, they say every day of the last year has been waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting on another attack, and waiting for more lives to be lost. Tonight, I spoke with people who say that they continue to hope for peace. October 7th, 2023. Jewish people struggled to find a reason to smile, to sing. 1 year later, song is used to heal, to remember.
I think the role of the Steinberg Loop Jewish Community Center throughout this very difficult year is to provide a space of support and community and collective grieving.
Blair Becker is the engagement program manager for the Jewish Community Center in Denver. She says the JCC has been a resource more than ever in the last year.
Throughout the Denver Jewish community and throughout the diaspora, which is the Jewish community outside of Israel, knows somebody that was impacted by October 7th or by the subsequent war. So this has become a really personal challenge as well as a collective challenge.
For Rabbi Joseph Black,
I have lots of family in Israel and dear friends, yes.
This year has been filled with worry and grief.
It is a day of infamy. It was the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. So it's hard not to acknowledge that the world has changed irrevocably as a result of that.
But just as his days are marked by sadness, he says they're not defined by it.
The very act of going through your daily life and making it through the day is an act of resistance against those who would use hate, against those who would take an ideology of destruction and say, no, we are going to live. That is something that is, I think, a very powerful act.
A mentality that makes the strength to sing that much louder.
Give yourselves a round of applause.
100 hostages still have not been returned, and tonight across the country, people are praying for their safety. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
A woman is facing charges in a crash that killed an off-duty Adams County deputy. It happened last year on Christmas Eve. Deputy Joshua Malloy died in a head-on crash near Gilcrest. CSP says Kayla Carroll was driving a car that crossed the center line and hit Malloy's car head-on. The Weld County DA's office has charged Carroll with vehicular homicide, among other things. She's due in court in December. Denver City Council has reversed course on a plan to buy a halfway house. Tonight, they unanimously rejected a proposal to buy the property for more than $26 million. The city's Department of Finance initially proposed buying the property on West 44th Avenue near I-25. The facility already serves people with criminal records struggling with drug addiction. But the city planned to buy the place as a part of a plan to transition community correction facilities away from the national for-profit owners. Denver has closed a bunch of those facilities in recent years, but only has about half of the 550 beds they're aiming for. The proposal unanimously passed a committee meeting last month. Then tonight, City Council pumped the brakes after the Department of Finance backtracked on the purchase.